Hi everyone, this is Cathleen de Ontiveros, and today we're just going to have a little bit of a sewing chat here. The neighbors have loud music going, and I've got chipped nail polish, and you know, not really a whole lot going on today that makes it good for a video, but we're just going to go ahead and do it anyway. So I'm working on my scrappy skirt today, and it's made out of a mismatch of fabrics that I had on the shelf. And this is something, but it's very artistic and it's coming together beautifully. So this is something I wanted to share with you, because a lot of times I hear people say, you know, I don't have money to go buy fabric right now and I want to sew. What can I do? Well, you can go through the closet and you can look for other pieces of clothing that you don't use anymore, and you can cut them apart and sew them together, and you can make other clothes out of them. You can also put the word out with your church or your neighborhood. Go around, put a note on the doors with a plastic bag asking for people that have clothes that they don't want anymore that they'd like to donate to your sewing projects, and you'd be surprised at how many people will help you out with clothing. Or some of them have stashes of fabric laying around they don't want, or they inherited and they have no idea what to do with it, and they'll be happy to donate it to you. So you have to think outside of the box and be very creative, and you can come up with supplies for having fabric to make your clothing and your other projects with. So this skirt today that I'm working on, I needed another piece of fabric. I needed it to be 8 inches wide by 35 inches long, and I needed 2 of those sections, and I didn't have it. But what I did have was a lot of scrap fabric. And I went through my shelves and I found this little box that I had bought on eBay. I don't even remember when. And it's Moda brand, and it's called Bake Shop. And when you open it up, it has a little instruction sheet for how to make a quilt. I wasn't really interested in making a quilt, but I did see all of these little binding pieces that they had, and I thought, ooh, okay. And then they had all of the little 2.5 inch squares of fabric, which would save me a whole lot of cutting. And I thought, you know, I really want this patchwork look for this fabric that I'm making, because it had chicken fabric that I'd bought actually to do an apron with. So I had a little bit of chicken fabric. I had a yard of black and white polka dot. I had a yard of white with black polka dots, and I had a yard of plain black fabric. So none of it by itself was enough to be able to make a skirt out of, but piecing it all together, I'm coming up with this really cute, fun skirt that I will love wearing in Arizona, where I also live part-time. So here we go. I have got my panels sewn together. I did my little quilt blocks. I sewed them together using a 1/4 inch seam allowance. So I just took my pieces and I lined them up, put them at the sewing machine, sewed a 1/4 inch, opened it up, added another one to this piece, sewed it 1/4 inch, and just kept going until I had enough pieces of fabric that it fit what I needed to make. So that was a really cute idea. The other thing that I really wanted to do for this skirt was to have the hand quilted look like you see with old quilts. So I took my needle and thread, and I like to have a double piece of thread when I'm doing this, and it's just real simple. You put your needle into the fabric, and let me make sure, show this on the back first so you can see what it looks like on the back. So I zigzagged all of my edges also, because I didn't want to have this fray. And if all these little seams bother you, you can line it or wear a slip with it. So I have my needle and my thread, and I'm just going to put my needle in, and I'm holding on to the needle, and I'm going to bring the tip of that needle up through the fabric, and then go back in, take a little chunk, come back up, take another little chunk. I can do this about 4 times before I feel like I really want to push the needle through. And you might want to wear a thimble. Very slowly pull your thread through, because you don't want it to tangle up on you. Straighten it out, and there you have your running stitch for doing your hand quilting. So I hope this video has been helpful, and if you have any questions, go ahead, leave me a comment or send me a message, and I will leave all of my contact info in the description box below above the comment section. So happy sewing, everybody. Blessings to everybody, and I will see you again soon.